a very interesting conversation. I have been spending a lot of time with my thoughts, and I've been writing and I've been consuming content, and I just want to give it a second. A couple of people come on the live. Oh yeah, I thought I was gonna have no clothes or whatnot. Let me see if I can. Let me see if it look better with the light on or. Okay, that works. Canine Mafa music. Not yet, huh? Hello. Hey, Flame. Ooh. Well, that's good. So you'll be able to come back to it, huh, Baba? Yeah, I'm getting ready to get into a good topic today. And this is gonna be really, this is gonna be really good. I've got a lot to talk about today, so I'm gonna go ahead and play my song, then I'm gonna get into it. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them. In life, there will always be opposition. Those who don't agree. That's why it's called the game. But remember who we need. Stay covered as you discover yourself. Let them better. I am separate but equal. I belong to the people. Yeah, we be the people. We are not the minority. We are the majority. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them divide you. We plan this game and the sports are dedicated to. Oh, la 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 la. Texting. I am separate but equal. I belong to the people. Yeah, we be the people. We are not the minority. We are the majority. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them divide you. Been playing this game and the scores like the answer to. Oh la 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 la. May harm the body, but this message will thrive and breathe. May cage my flesh. I'll just raise up my frequency as a child. Is that really Miss Flame?
I gotta go and check this after we get on the line. Make sure that's really you.
break the wall. Don't let them lie to
Testing,
you. Don't let
testing,
them
one, two.
divide
Testing,
you.
testing.
That's how they hide
Testing, testing,
you.
one, two.
More
Testing, testing, one,
black,
two. Testing,
more
testing,
black,
one,
more
two.
black, more
Testing,
black,
testing,
more
one, two.
black.
Testing, testing, one, two. May harm nobody, but this message will thrive and breathe and may cage my flesh. I'll just raise up my frequency as a child of infinity. I'll vibrate. I'll vibrate. I break the wall. Don't let them lie to you. Don't
That's
let
how they
them.
hide the truth from
Oh la, oh la la la.
I am separate but equal.
I belong to the people. Yeah, we be the people. Purple people. Yes, come on, purple people. Yeah, we be the people. Purple people. So today we are here with a message about the stuff that we inherited, the things that we inherited from a heterosexual binary. Come on, a heterosexual binary. So I'm going to start off today with some writings that I wrote. This piece, I wrote it while I was out for my walk. And this piece is going to lay the foundation to guide us into the actual topic for today. But I feel like it's a good precursor for what we're going into. You're going to get some good food today. Um, I hate that a lot of you will miss this live, but I have to do it when the spirit moves me, when I have time. As you're coming into the live, please make sure, hey, Fatima, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, yes. So, as you're coming into the live, please, click that like button. Be sure to thumbs up the page. Um, share the message if you can, if you're moved to. Yeah, share it wherever you feel comfortable with sharing it. Today is going to be a really good message. I've been getting some downloads. I've been being really disciplined with my diet. I cleaned my space up. It's clean. The energy is flowing. The ancestors are speaking to me. So we are going to. I'm really excited about it. I don't know if I may need to go out into the car because I don't know if the signal is messing up. What's going on with the signal? Are y'all seeing me clearly? Are you seeing me clearly? Hey, Faith. I'm so happy you're here. All right, now they say when two or more are gathered, the goddess is in the midst. Oh my, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, um, yeah, so we're gonna get this show on the road. Make sure you click like, so that we could get through the algorithm. Please, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're about to dig into a mighty, mighty message today. We are going to unpack some things. We're going to get into some things. I am really, 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 really excited. So, this piece is called Before the Veil Was Torn, and we're going to get into this message. There was a time, wait, hold on, I need to Google, before I start, I need to Google one name. Hold on, because I want to make sure I say this right. Yes, that's who I needed. Okay, so we're about to get into it. There was a time before the veil was torn where we knew special, gifted, talented, Christ like beings. They were loved and they were celebrated. Being in their presence felt healing because it was confirmation and it was affirmation of our relationship and our connection with wholeness. Before the veil was torn, Will and Jada were the ideal black couple. The Huxtables were the blueprint. Brandy and Raven Simone were our innocent black American princesses. The famous Jet Jackson, Tevin Campbell, Lando Brown were the little black boys every boy wanted to be. Whitney Houston was a pristine ebony songbird, and Bill Cosby was America's dad. O.J. Simpson was a model black man, and the gospel was only believed to be found in man made buildings. R. Kelly's voice was the voice of black love and intimacy and romance. Men like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton were the voice of all black people. And Michael Jackson wanted nothing more than to heal a world that would ultimately destroy him. Women were ushers, first ladies, deaconesses, pastors, first ladies, deaconesses, but not pastors, bishops, or popes, and they still ain't. Gay and trans was only for white wealthy people and people who wanted to assimilate into whiteness because the Tracy Africas of the world were forced to hide, afraid that they would end up like the girl who was rumored to be with Eddie Murphy. Queer was reduced to backroom whispers, leaving many vulnerable to the coming epidemic, pandemic known as HIV and AIDS. Before the veil was torn, we prayed to a God in heaven, forgetting that the kingdom was within. We believed that all black people were the same kind and lived through the same kind of discrimination, which is why we were so excited to see Obama become the president of the United States before the veil was torn. Now, with that as our opening, I'm sure we could take and break down, a lot of the things that I said, so that'll be something for you to just go back and kind of dissect later as we think about the veil being torn, how we were able, how we saw things and how we viewed things and how things have changed now. Excuse me, let me cut this down a little bit. Have testing. How things have changed now in regards to what we knew then and what we knew now. We've had a chance to see real time how things panned out, and we live in a society where Some of the most successful people have a extremely curated and manicured brand, and we don't exactly get to see them be their whole selves. We don't exactly get to see them, in their mess, to be vulnerable. And unfortunately, because they've lived a very curated and manicured public existence, when some of that mess spills out of the closet that's been packed into that closet, when that mess starts to spill out, it can be ultimately used to cancel them. And that's why we're moving away from this, carefully curated and manicured public existence. Amen, a woman. We're stepping into our wholeness. We're stepping into a season of Aquarius. We're stepping into a season where we're able to be our mess, but we're also able to be that success. Amen, a woman. Come on now. I can be my mess. Thank you. But I can also be my success. Come on, thank you. Thank you. Somebody needed that because I know I did. So I want to take a moment to highlight the reason why I'm doing this video. So, if you looked at the cover picture, there are three beings who are on the cover. And wait, no, before I get into that, I want to take a moment to highlight and uplift that there are two prominent spectrums. There is one external spectrum and there's an internal spectrum. And they are not always aligned. So we have an external spectrum, which speaks to our genitalia, which speaks to the label we're given by doctors when we come into this reality. Amen, a woman? So when we come into this reality, we are given an external spectrum. And that external spectrum can be ambiguous genitalia, and it could be very concrete and defined genitalia. You can be born with a penis and some testicles. You can be born with a vagina and a clitoris. You can be born with ambiguous parts. Sometimes you may have testicles and ovaries. Sometimes you may have a penis and a vaginal hole. There's a such thing. Ooh, 333. Look at that. Look what time it is. So notice the time is 333. That's divine nine. Come on. And we're going into nine next year, 2025, nine. 333. Amen, a woman. So I want to speak to that because I don't think we speak to that enough. Speaking to the chromosomes, speaking to the different genetic structures, there is something called androgen insensitivity syndrome. This is something that Queen Elizabeth was believed to be diagnosed with. Androgen insensitivity syndrome. One, if I'm not mistaken, one in every 20,000 babies can have this. And 100,000 babies, it can be from 2 to 5 that can have androgen insensitivity syndrome. And this is when you can be born with a vagina but have an XY chromosome, which means that your genetic chromosome is the same as the chromosome that was given to a male. But you, a lot of times, sometimes they can reproduce, sometimes they can carry babies, and sometimes they cannot. But you can literally have an XY chromosome. The XY chromosome is not exclusive to beings born with penises. There are beings who are born with vaginas who have an XY chromosome as well. And this is one of the reasons why they believe that Queen Elizabeth was not able to get impregnated. So one in every 20,000, 2 to 5 in every 100,000, in every 100,000. And so there's over 8 billion variables on the planet. So if we were to do reasoning, if we were to guesstimate That's over 100,000 beings on the planet that have androgen insensitivity syndrome. And that's just one form of being intersexed. That's just one form. That's one of many forms of being intersexed. And so there's a spectrum, a physical spectrum that we don't acknowledge in mainstream. And there's also a spiritual spectrum. There's an internal spectrum, and that speaks to gender. So one spectrum speaks to your physical genitalia, the parts that you were created in which you are able to procreate with and which you are able to receive pleasure. And then there's this mental spectrum that a lot of us are on. And so in order to function in a binary system, we're going to get to this. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. But before we start to dig into all of that, I want to name the inspirations for this video. So there are three main inspirations for this video. Kenneth Senegal, which is also known as Kaniva. They are a very androgynous, ambiguous being who I was introduced to recently. They followed me on Instagram and I followed them back. When I tell you we were chatting backwards and forwards in the inbox, and there's so many spiritual connections that I saw in this person. And they, I was watching a video that they did today, which really, really further prompted me to want to have this conversation today. But they were talking about how their spiritual awakening happened in their spiritual awakening happened in 2017. Now, I've been wrestling with my spiritual awakening for a long time, but I think I finally accepted it and I stopped fighting it in 2015 because it was becoming so hard to continue to run from who I was. It was becoming so hard to suppress what my spiritual destiny was and what my legacy was supposed to be. In 2015, it just everything started to fall apart. The dreams of the white picket fence, and and having this, what I like to call CAT, which is the assist adjacent trans. So it's when you're trans and you want to live your life in adjacent to how cis hetero people live their life. So I call them cats. And I wanted to be a cat. I wanted to live a cis adjacent trans life. I wanted to be just like cis heterosexual women. I wanted the white picket fence. I wanted to praise the Lord, Father God, King Jesus. I wanted to have me a good man who was a provider and a protector. And I wanted that same thing. And in 2015, it became painfully clear that that was not that's not what the ancestors had planned. We had discussed it before I was born, and I was trying to forget that conversation. And in 2015, they said, no, 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 no. I said, hell no. That's what they said. They said, wake up. I said, hell no. That's what they said in 2015. But Kadiva, who is Kenneth Senegal, they had their awakening in 2017, which was the year Laylim Layler was born. My God is God today. And when I saw them say that they had their spiritual awakening in 2017, the same year that Antron, who was androgynous and non-binary before we even had a word for it, the same year that Antron transitioned into the ether, the same year that Antron went to go and be with the ancestors, here it was that this being who is a 29-year-old Pisces was going through their awakening and Laylim Layler was being born. in the same year, 2017. Now, 2015 was when I surrendered. Yes, 2015 was when I surrendered to what the ancestors had planned for me. And 2015 is 2 plus 1 plus 5 is 8. So that's destroy and rebuild. And so what was in my life, what was happening in my life, what I thought was meant for my life, what I thought I was going to do with my life, it was a purge happening so that the new could come in, so that the newness could come in. And so it was destroy and rebuild. You know, that's an infinite number. That's that infinity symbol up there behind me. Destroy and rebuild. Destroy and rebuild. And the ancestors had a plan in my life, and they were destroying. They were removing those things that were not going to serve me in this next part of the journey. 2015, you add it up, it's 8, and we're there again. 2024, it's 8. Now, 2017, that's 2 plus 1 plus 7. That's we going back to 1. That's the 0 representing the womb and the 1 representing the phallic, and you put it together and it becomes 1. A man, a woman, you put the key in the door, which is the womb. The womb is the door. The phallic is the key. You put the key in the door and you open a portal to a new world. You bring something different here. A man, a woman. And so we were putting the key in the door in 2017. The key was unlocking the door and something was coming here. Now make sure y'all click that like button because there's 12 of y'all in here. 12 of y'all in here. Help me get through the algorithm. Make sure you click that like button. Don't just be sitting here stalking and not supporting. Anyway, the first person was what that inspired this video was Kenneth Senegal, also known. The second person that inspired this video was Jordiana. Now I met Jordiana through Uhuru, who is a very queer, non-binary, transmasculine being. And Uhuru is like nobody that I've ever met before in my life. A beautiful, amazing, straightforward, very excellent communicator. And they have just been introducing me to beings who I could have probably never came into contact with if I had not known them. And also the other being is Evolve, and Evolve is non-binary. And I think Evolve leans more to masculine. It's giving me more masculine center, but it also gives me fluid. I see a fluidity in Evolve, and Evolve is a Gemini like me. And so I was able to meet Jordiana. Jordiana is the being that I shared yesterday, who was dancing to my song about booking T.S. Mammy. And they're actually in Japan dancing to my song. In Japan, like my song is being heard. My song is in the vibrational airwaves of Japan being played in Japan, honey. So yes. So that really just touched me, and that was part of the reason why I wanted to have them in this video as my inspiration. Saint is one of the first non-binary people that I've been able to be close with. Me and Saint actually worked together at Nairi, and me and Saint were very close. Saint is a Virgo. So Saint is a Virgo, Jordiana is a Taurus, and Kadiva is a Pisces. So all three of them have really. Is my connection okay? Before I keep talking, because I'm about to get, is my connection okay? Let me know if the connection is okay. If I need to move out of here. Is the connection working? Y'all get what I'm saying? Somebody let me know. Oh, okay, good. Okay, so yeah, don't get twisted. Your teachers worldwide. Don't get twisted. Your teachers worldwide. Don't let shadow banning fool you. You not only that, but you gather quality over. Wait a minute. What's this word? Over cicada to shit. Wait, gather. Oh, not only that, but you gather quality over. Okay, yeah, gather quality beings. Okay, 'cause, not to put all my tea out there, but I'm XY killing filters. Oh wow. XXY. Okay, so you on the intersex spectrum. Okay, so let me get back to I've never had my DNA, like really broke down to understand what's going on with me because I'm sure something was going on too because they did some things to me when I was young. Um but Saint was somebody that I worked with. Saint was one of the first non-binary people. Was one of the first non-binary people that I was close with after Antron, and it's so crazy because Antron was a Taurus. So and Saint is a Virgo, and Saint like I did a video a little while ago. I was, very sad because I don't have close relationships with gay men. But, I realized that the ancestors were replacing the gay men with non-binary beings who who could be perceived by, closed-minded people as gay men, but they are not claiming to be gay men. They are owning the masculine and the feminine within themselves. They're owning the wholeness. And so I was sad because I didn't have relationships with gay men, but I wasn't looking what God Goddess was doing in my life. I wasn't looking at what the mother father was doing in my life because Saint calls me all the time and we talk all the time. We don't see each other as much as we used to see each other because we used to go out to the club together and everything. And so, I had to realize like, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees, because I'm not to put down the gay man, and this is not me talking down on gay men. This is just me saying that I feel like non-binary is the evolution of all of the things. I feel like non-binary is the evolution of transness. Non-binary is the evolution of gayness. And so while I was upset because I didn't have any relationships with gay men who are in a lot of ways the dinosaur of the community. Come on now, somebody somebody say something like the black gay man is a dinosaur because the black gay man is here to uphold the patriarchy. The black gay man is here to uphold the binary. And so in a lot of ways the black gay man is the dinosaur. And the dinosaurs are becoming extinct. And so I wasn't thinking about the fact that these beings who would be perceived by, ignorant and closed-minded people, these young beings are coming up and they're fearlessly embracing their wholeness. Amen, a woman. So so the toxicity that the trans community has inherited from the binary system is this idea that people who are non-binary and who are expressing themselves in ways that appear to be feminine or extremely feminine and align with womanhood if they were born with um, um, genitalia that is traditionally associated with manhood. Um, if they're born with this genitalia and they are presenting in a feminine way, the expectation and the burden that is often placed on them is to assimilate, is to pick a side. You know what I'm saying? That's the burden that is often placed on visibly ambiguous people. You know, they are pressured in this society to pick a side. You know, and that is the toxicity that we have inherited from the patriarchal binary system that tells beings like Jordiana, that tells beings like Saint, that tells beings like Kadiva that you need to pick a side. And I wanna tell you that you do not have to pick a side. You are loved just where you are. You do not have to take hormones. You do not have to go and get work done. We are not going to continue to perpetuate the vicious cycle where I was just talking about the other day in a video where we want other people to endure the same trauma that we've had to endure because the world was not ready for us. And so, because we had to make changes to our body and because we had to go through certain things, we feel that they have to. I was built for a sex change. Some of us, it's in our spirit. Some of us, we are destined for it. Some of us, that's what we need to feel comfortable in our body. But if you don't need to have surgery, if you don't need to take hormones, if you don't need to have facial feminization or get your breasts done, if you don't need to do any of those things to honor your femininity, to honor your mother and your father, to honor everything that is within you, then you don't have to pick a side today because you are on both sides. You are whole. You are everything and no thing. You are no specific thing. Amen, a woman. Let me say that again for the slow people in the back row. You are everything and no thing, no specific thing. My God is God today, and that's everything. Everything and no thing, no specific thing. That's everything. My God is God today. So I'm not here to tell you that you need to pick a side and that you need to assimilate, because today we're ending a vicious cycle that tells you that you have to assimilate and that you have to pick a side. In this video, I want to speak specifically to the pressures that comes in being forced to assimilate and ultimately pick a side. The need to differentiate drag from full time. Come on now, somebody. Make sure y'all click that like button when you come on here because we're cooking today. The need to differentiate drag from full time. This added undissected aspect or cliff note that feels not so far removed from the Willie Lynch letter, just like the book of Enoch was removed from the Christian King James Version of the Bible. Now, and that's a real thing, like, that we don't talk about in the queer community, because a lot of us aren't on that level. A lot of us don't have that capacity. We don't have the capacity to talk about why is there a need to differentiate drag from full-time transition when it's all drag. It's literally all drag. And you know, this is a unspoken cliff note. And it's just like the Willie Lynch letter, how light skin is pitched against dark skin, old against young, man against woman, you know, queer against binary, you know, non-binary against binary. This is a conversation that has been removed from our conscious. It's not discussed, it's not talked about. Just like the book of Enoch is not talked about in the black church. We're not talking about why is there a need to differentiate a full-time womanhood from drag. Why is there a need? Why is it important? Why is it important to separate drag from full time? What is the basis of it? What are we trying to get out of it? What are we trying to accomplish by separating? Because there are some heterosexual binary females who identify as women who are just as much a drag queen as RuPaul. Just as much a drag queen. Love penis, love men, just as much a drag queen as RuPaul. Why isn't that a conversation? So now I'm going to take some time to read from my book that I published, because I feel like this is going to add to the conversation. No, it's right up in here. Bless God, can eat my for this. So many good poems up in here. And so many of the poems that I have written actually go with this topic. But this poem in particular that I want to read now is called Rainbow People. And it's not a long poem, but it's very good. And I want to share it now. I am a blatant act of defiance against the cisgender binary. I am a gagged and muzzled narrative that his story tried to place in solitary. It is both him and her that dwell in my sanctuary. I am the full likeness of God, though man's opinion of me does vary. I am a magnificently woven tapestry of masculine and feminine energy. I am unashamed of the fact that I am both she and he. I am not a slave to my femme, nor a servant to my masculinity, but rather a servant of true divinity. I won't be bound or binded by the binary, but instead I will use my gifts as a true visionary to see past the pain of today, doing just as a star does, being a light for others while helping to guide them along the way. Many of us have drank the Kool-Aid and been brainwashed, mind flooded with images of cis supremacy, telling us we need surgeries just to be, doubting the greatness that is manifesting within, longing only to blend. This act, in fact, is the sin. Angels trying to hide amongst men. Beat down by the constructed isms and phobias of the land, my dual spirited siblings have been too weak to stand. Forced to walk through doors marked woman or man, leaving behind brilliant pieces of us buried deeply within the sand. How can one run when they cannot walk? How can one teach when they've been too afraid to talk? It's time to begin a conversation that heals nations. And so today, under the sound of my voice, I decree your freedom. I say, let the chains fall. I free you to imagine life beyond and outside of the female and male design. I free you to think evolutionary thoughts that will wash away the boxes, the labels, the classes, the races, the sexes, leaving behind a rainbow that is certain to come, a rainbow of diverse oneness. Blessed be, Ashe, Namaste, and so it is. And as I think about that poem that I wrote, um, I think I wrote that in 2015. Like I told you, that was when I really, really started to wrestle with being free of of those constructs, being free of that. You know, the ancestors were freeing me up, and we are all on a spectrum. We're on a broken spectrum. And, you know, I was told that because I felt more comfortable with genitalia that mirrored that of my foremothers, you know, a lot of times, you know, we're taught that wanting to change our body, wanting to change parts on our body, means that we're trying to assimilate into the binary. No, it does not mean that. It means that this is what I need to feel comfortable in my body. Like, like I'm still on a spectrum in my spirit. I'm still whole in my spirit. Again, there's a physical, there's an external spectrum, and there's an internal spectrum. And so internally, I'm whole. But the way mine's set up is, I wanted to have a different setup externally, you know, and we're all designed differently. Some of us don't need to change anything on the outside, and we are already in tune on the inside. And that's a beautiful thing. The problem comes when we start trying to undermine another person's story, when we start trying to undermine another person's journey, when we start trying to diminish another person's journey, because it is all par for the course. Amen, and woman. We can learn from each other. We can be inspired by each other. Amen, and woman. If it were not for the beings who went as far as we did physically, how would you know what you wanted to do? Sometimes you can look at another person's life and you could be thankful for their example, because now that you've seen that and you've witnessed that, you could either decide that you want to carry on that, you want to become a part of that, or you want to do something a little different. Again, it's all par for the course. Amen, a woman. Each one teach one. Iron sharpens iron. So we're gonna pull from that story, and we're gonna discuss traumas that I've experienced in my youth that I feel have helped to um, create a divide between certain facets of the community and reinforce this divided spectrum. So I really wasn't shady to girls that were not passable until I moved to Atlanta after Katrina. When I moved to Atlanta after Katrina and I started going to this seminary school, which is why I shared that post the other day, I understood the pressure of passing. And during that time, I started to inherit some toxic traits. If I saw extremely flamboyant people, boisterous, queer people, boisterous members of the gay community who were not passable, I would duck my head. I would walk out and go the other way. I would try to hold my head down so they wouldn't clock my tea because I didn't want them to come sit by me. And that was the trauma that went with, in my generation, if you weren't passable, you got bricks thrown at you, you got bottles thrown at you. And I'm not bragging, I was never a girl who got bricks and bottles thrown at me, but I have been friends with girls who got bricks and bottles thrown at them. And so I learned a lesson from being around those girls who got bricks and bottles thrown at them. And so when I would see flaming queens, androgynous beings, non-binary looking people who were very, yes, I would go the other way. I would go the other way. And it was a trauma, that had come from, and that was some Willie Lynch stuff. That was some Willie Lynch stuff. That was us being divided. That was us being pitted against each other, like in the Willie Lynch letter. That's our queer Willie Lynch letter. That's the book of Enoch being moved from the Bible. That's an act like that. Us being separated, us being divided, us not wanting to be seen with them. But in our defense, a lot of us were doing it out of a need to survive. A lot of us were doing it out of a need for safety. So I'm not going to put down my sisters who are in stealth. I'm not going to put down my sisters who disassociate themselves from certain behavior, because I realize that at the end of the day, it's about them surviving. It's about them being, but I'm still going to call a thing a thing. We were being herded into our respective corners. We were being caroused into our respective corners. Patriarchy itself, because the bricks that were being thrown, the bottles that were being thrown, because you weren't blending, because you weren't passing, because you weren't playing your role, because you weren't in your perspective spot, because you weren't moving how patriarchy had given you permission to move, and you weren't in your assigned space, and you weren't moving like you were supposed to move. You weren't talking like you were supposed to talk. You weren't acting like you were supposed to act. You weren't presenting like you were supposed to present. The only way we're going to give you permission to be visible, to be seen, and to have access to certain spaces is if you fit in, is if you blend in, and is if you assimilate. And so we were being pitted against each other by patriarchy itself. And our brothers, our black brothers, were being used as instruments of the machine of massa to create that divide. And then when we get into that divide, those of us who did not want to be seen with the flamboyant ones, the ones that were loud and the ones that were hungry for boys, the ones that would be walking up to the boys saying, "Ooh, let me suck that dick, boy. Boy, come here, boy, boy." They weren't getting guidance from us, the ones who were living in stealth. We had become wholesome. We had become righteous. We were living in that space of the divine. We were in that space. We were moving into that space. And so we were not there to guide our babies, because patriarchy said, y'all two can't be together. Y'all can't be around each other. Patriarchy said, Patriarchy threw bricks at that. Patriarchy threw bottles at that. Patriarchy said, y'all need to separate. And so our babies They were the prey of the machine. And the machine came in and sexualized us. The machine came in and commercialized us. The machine came in and made us look like we were pure debauchery. Because the black gay men were in stealth, trying to protect their image and trying to protect their likeness, and they didn't want to be associated with that. The trans women who were trying to live a life that reflected the divine and that reflected that which was good, they were living in stealth. They were over here, and we were separate from this generation that was wild and free. And so the machine, after it used our brothers to separate us, it came in and it collected them. And while it was using us to build up this binary system, because we was over here blending into the binary, it came and it took all of their actions and it amplified it and made it debaucherous and made the example of the queer community and made the example of the gay community one of debauchery, one of lust, one of partying and sex parties and always using drugs and it just turned us into something completely immoral. And I'm not saying it's wrong to participate in sex. I'm not saying it's wrong to get you a little bump or have you a drink. I'm not putting that down because I'm human. I participate as well. But when they divided us, they threw off the balance. They took the elders, they took the ones who had matured, and they took the ones who had learned a little something, and they divided us from the ones who were still learning. They threw bricks at that. They threw bottles at that. I'm trying not to get emotional, y'all. We are more than drugs, bag chases, glam, sex parties. Again, we are everything and nothing and no specific thing. We are not men trying to be women, and we are not women trying to be men. We are whole. They try to convince you that it's a gay agenda, but it's really the divine agenda unfolding. No, I was not born with the ability to carry a baby inside of my body. No, I was not born with the ability to experience a cycle. But I am just as much woman as I am man because it took male and female to bring me here. We have to stop, those of us who are trying to be more conscious, we have to stop making being a woman about having a vagina because it's disrespectful to every being who was born with a vagina and does not connect with the word woman. We have to stop making everything that has a penis about being a man because it's disrespectful to every being that was born with a penis that does not identify with being a man. We have to allow people to be human. We have to ask people. We have to stop generalizing things and calling that respect. Because the best way to respect someone is to ask them what they want to be called, how they want to be identified. Even when you think you know, you should still ask because it teaches others to ask. It creates a culture of understanding the uniqueness that each of us have in our DNA. We should not continue to be forced to pick a side. I think what y'all I think I covered it. Wait, hold on. Did I say everything? Yeah. 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 I got through that pretty fast. I got through that. Well, let me look in the comment section now and see what y'all saying down here. You have always been mother. Come on now. If you have time, can you address what's appropriate and not appropriate when wanting to respect identities, but not fully knowing just from meeting someone? I mean, I think I just covered that. It's called having a conversation. How's that an appropriate way to inquire without being rude? It's not being. It's just simple. You start with yourself. Hi, my name is Queen, and my pronouns are blah blah blah. What are yours? Yeah. Rainbow Cunt, you are entitled to your opinion. No one's here to argue with you about if drag and trans are two different things. You are here. No one's here to argue with you about that. You have a perception of drag, but in reality, drag is everything. I'm in drag right now. I personally like African indigenous drag. I like to give indigenous drag. I like to give African drag. I like to give very earthy drag, very Mother Earth drag. That's how I see it. Everybody is doing drag. Men, when they put on their football jerseys and their Tims, that's drag. If you a glamazon and you on Atlanta Housewives, that's drag. Your lace front, all that's drag. Now, this is what I'm teaching over here. If what I'm teaching doesn't resonate with you, then go and find your tribe. Go and find your tribe, okay? Clearly you're not a purple one. And that's okay. Is that clear for you? Did I make myself clear? Okay. Golden Queen example. I was raised to say Miss and Mister in New Jersey, and now I'm in NC. I may say sir or ma'am. Sometimes I don't know which one to use. If I'm wrong, I get checked. Right. And so, with that being said, I feel like sir and ma'am are antiquated, antiquated expressions. But, I don't get mad at people when people say ma'am to me. I let it slide because I don't feel like, having a conversation with everybody. I really just, let it ride. Like when I was walking today, I went for my walk and two men offered me a ride and it was like, ma'am, you need a ride. And I was like, no, I don't stop them and be like, oh, I'm non-binary and I would prefer like, if I'm gonna really spend a lot of time around you, then I might try to explain it to you. But if we just in passing, I don't really care. But if you are building relationships with these people, then I think the best way to communicate is to first say what you want and what you're used to, and to share, how you were taught and how you were raised. And so to open up the lines of communication by talking about yourself and how you're used to be identified, and then that'll make another person feel comfortable with opening up and sharing with you. So first create a space where another person can feel comfortable being vulnerable by making yourself vulnerable and sharing from your point of view. And then once you get there, then that's really how you work on it. So first you create a space where people feel comfortable sharing by sharing what's going on with you. A man, a woman. Please provide a link, mother, when I can. I would like your audience a link. I would love to purchase your book. Okay, I will definitely. I'll share the link again on the page after this book is over. I'll make a post and share the link. Um, I love poetry. Oh, that's good. Already on how you place already on how you place those words. And even when it's not enough, as the goalpost is always moving at wait, hold on, let me see, because I think I missed. Drag is about camp and comedy, as trans women's journey is different. But let's be clear, drag is often what leads you on your journey to identifying yourself as a trans person. So while it starts off at one thing, it is definitely what starts the journey. Because I'm a girl who started my transition or started my journey in the 90s, at the end of the 80s. And that was the word was drag queen. They called us drag queens, female impersonators. There was no trans, was not, no one was calling each other trans. They were calling it drag queens. And it was because we were dressing as women. We our drag had changed. We were, and when you say drag queen, that means, honey, you stepped your expression up. Like if you combine the word drag and the word queen, this means drag is garb, it's clothes, it's garments, it's fashion. So you're a queen of this. You're a queen of fashion. You're a queen of garb. You're a queen of clothing. You collect your pieces. You have your things. So that's the journey. It's the journey. You continue to evolve, but trying to erase drag from being a part of the journey. See, younger girls tend to do that. Y'all have the luxury of erasing the connection. And for a while, y'all sucked me into that too, because I was like, you girls play in wigs for 5 minutes out the day and want to compare yourself to trans women, but a lot of them are on the journey, and we forget that. We get so lost in the toxicity of the binary that we forget that it's a journey, and drag is a part of that journey. Drag is many times the foundation to that journey. The girls start off doing pageants and shows and pantomiming and playing in women clothes, and the next thing you know, you discover who you always were. And even when it's not enough, as the goalpost is always moving, rainbow con, to the point is we are enough. To the point is we are enough, just the way we are, as we were born. Our words of self proclaiming should be enough. Amen, a woman. Come on now, sister. And that's another girl who had the sex change. This is another sex change girl in the comment section. So, we don't get sex changes and forget to be whole. People just built different. People just have People just have different needs to be comfortable in their body. And they try to make it look like, every girl that get a sex change, we just want to sit around here and we want to be the binary biological tuna. We delusional and we want to be the binary biological female who's heterosexual and want the picket fence. No, like there are beings who are born with vaginas who are non-binary. There are beings who are born with vaginas who are whole. Getting a vagina don't mean that I want to fit into this stereotypical idea of what it means to be a woman. It just means that I feel more comfortable with that with my body being set up like that. It just means that I want to be the door and not the key. Mentally, internally, I can still be the key, but externally, I want to be the door. Representation of the door, representation of the portal. My God is God today. And everything else are of this world, costumes to appease those of this world for safety and basic respect. Ooh, Fatima! Fatima! What you girl? Nah, that's a word right there. And everything else of this world are costumes. It's all a performance. It's all a performance. It's all a performance. But at least I love what Kadiva said in their video. Kadiva said they have crooked teeth too, a lot whiter than mine. Go on, girl. But they pretty. And she was like, I know I have, people want me to change my teeth to access certain spaces, but I love my teeth. I love my authenticity. And she said a lot of us, we take on these personas, we transition, and we rent a personality, we rent somebody else's personality, we become a fake person. And this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to make all those changes to myself, because I've seen what it does to people. I've seen when you look in the mirror and you can't see your ancestors, you can't see your grandma, you can't see your mama, you can't see your daddy, you can't see your grandpa. You look in the mirror and you see a whole different person. You create this person, you steal this personality from somebody else. Girl, you not yourself right now. And I don't judge people for feeling like that they have to do all of that. But girl, we've seen this example time and time again. People who make so many changes to themselves, they forget, they lose touch with reality. They lose themselves. You fuck around and lose your soul. My God is God today. Mm-hmm. Faith said, a man, a woman. Ain't that right, sister? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. White gender, white sex, white mask. Come on now. Fatima, you is cooking with grease, baby. Let it out, child. And Golden Queen said, it's okay to be emotional. What you feel what you feel. This is a deep topic. That's true. Not only that, but we are so much more than the consoles we call bodies. We are God herself, experiencing herself from every possible vantage point. So called individuals who came here to evolve. Oh my goodness, that's so beautiful. I got to read that again. Not only that, we are so much more than the consoles of our bodies. We are God herself. Yes, God Goddess. Experiencing herself from every possible vantage point. Come on. Because, baby, when I tell you black femininity does not have a box to go in, baby, when I tell you that divine feminine energy Oh my goodness. It can show up in every possible way. And we've been taught to demonize it. I was watching EVE today and just seeing the toxic masculinity of the character who was being funny, JT's best friend, and it was a black woman. She was in the club, and he said, "Ooh, she got a body like JT, like J Lo," and when she turned around, her face was kind of masculine, and he said she had a face like goddamn. No, she had a face like everything. She was everything, beautiful being. But because you've been duped into looking at black femininity through a colonial white supremacist lens, you are now calling this exquisite creature ugly because your lens got some motherfucking dust in it. 'Cause your eyes fucked up. This was beautiful, mother. Thank you, Kaneen. That introduction makes sense. Sister, I'm hoping I can make it to Africa, Cape Cod, the end of the year, maybe the beginning of the year. Well, child, we need to go together. I thought you was gonna get your snatch first, though, sis. You going over there without your snatch, sis. You know I want to go to South Africa, so you know I'm trying to go back over there, girl. So we might need to plan a voyage together. Pooh. Thank you, sister, for that information, Kaneen. I understand. I agree. I think drag back in the day was a safer expression. Nowadays, I'm unsure if it still means the same. Well, there has been an agenda, like I said, to divide transness from drag. And I think that drag influences, no matter how we want to look at it, it influences all of womankind. It influences womanhood. RuPaul doesn't just influence gay males. RuPaul influences the trans community and the cis heterosexual community, because a lot of things that are taken from the trans community um, are interwoven into the cis heterosexual community. It is all a spectrum, and it is just a broken spectrum. And so I'm not going to sit over here and act like me and RuPaul is, although we may be polarities in how we show up, we're still on a spectrum together. And that spectrum, it doesn't need to be broken. RuPaul and what RuPaul represents is the glory of this season, the glory of this time. And a lot of times, beings like me who are earthy, our drag is earthy. The way we choose to show up is earthy, but those are the roots. And the roots are not always meant for everybody to see. The roots are the foundation. The roots are what allow all of these other things to thrive and to show. And so my drag is rooted. My drag is the roots. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I don't need to be the blonde wig with the perfect pearly white teeth and the shiny beaded gowns, for everyone to see, because, honey, that's leaves on the tree. And leaves blow away. Seasons change. I'm still going to be here in my earthy drag with my crooked teeth. I'm all, baby, some of us are eternal. The roots, the roots will still be there even when the tree falls. Get into that. The roots make it possible for another tree to sprout up from that stump. So just because you don't see me, just because you don't see it for me, it doesn't mean I don't matter. Right, everybody was a drag queen then. That's exactly, you're right, Faith. We were kids. Anything different was shamed. Exactly. Shamed and shunned upon. That's right, sister. Period, Fatima. Exactly. At this point, I don't care who judge me. I go in my hole and I come out because no person can rush me or force me to do anything I don't or can't handle. A man, a woman. Not you, Kaneen. But do you think that some heteros can stray nowadays during discord due to the history of how heteros treated everyone that was different from like that? I never did, but I get attacked. Wait a minute. So you feel like yeah, I do feel like some people in the community attack heterosexuals, but it's a return of the it's a return. It's a vicious cycle. A lot of them, are not healing. Some of us, have not forgiven our families, have not forgiven our mothers and fathers, have not forgiven the church. And so a lot of us are walking around with a chip on our shoulder, and that's a real thing, and it's valid. I don't want to live my life like that. I don't want to live my life with a chip on my shoulder and just being always defensive with, beings who resonate more on the straight end of the spectrum. Because let's be clear, it is all the same spectrum. Like the LGBT community, the queer community, and the straight community are not separate. It's all on a spectrum. It's a great big gigantic spectrum that has been dissected purposely and intentionally for control, for the maintenance of power. Some of us, some of us on our own personal journey, trans not included, people don't respect that. Mm, it's always a versus battle. Come on now. You better say that, Faith. It's always a versus battle, straight versus gay, pre-op versus post-op. I choose not to entertain it or have a seat at the chitlin circuit. Your teeth crooked too, Golden Queen. David, Divin, Carmine, Charmine. Right, too many people want to look alike. Exactly. Be your unique, authentic self. Stop feeling pressured to look like everybody else and to be like everybody else for acceptance. Have the courage to be your own authentic self. I choose to accept. I choose not to accept nor participate in any sisterhood. Most want to. Most want to deep down be faggots, and and you're exited. You're not gonna be a part of that. Deep down want to be faggots. And let's be clear, um, there is nothing wrong with having faggy moments, queening out, so to speak, having punk moments. I had created that little series called All Right, Miss Punk. I just don't think that you should rest there. I don't think that that should be your resting place in a faggy place or a punky place. But that's just my opinion. It takes all kind to make the world go around. If you resonate in your faggy place or your punk place, then be in your faggy place, be in your punk place. We probably not gonna be besties because I can't do the faggy punk place. I can't rest there. I can't reside there. I will visit. I will go on weekend trips. I will go on camping trips. I will have weenie roast. I will do drop in. I will get an Airbnb sometimes, girl, and come hang out with you in the faggy place, in the punk place. But girl, I can't live there with you. Just like I can't live in the glamazon space either. I can't live in the material, superficial space. I can't live in the dick hungry space. Always talking about sex. I can't live in the bag chasing space. I cannot live there. I cannot. reside there with you. I can, like I said, I can drop in, I can vacation there from time to time, but I cannot live there with you. I fixed my teeth later on in life, child. It's um all up to yeah, and this is where I like I do want to go ahead and get braces, because unfortunately I feel like the world has been so conditioned. um the youth are being so shielded from certain images and likenesses, and you just got to do certain things to reach a wider audience, unfortunately. And so I ask myself, what compromises or am I willing to make? I'm not willing to bleach my skin. I'm not willing to get a nose job, but I could fix the teeth, because some people they had to bleach their skin to get into certain rooms. Some people had to get nose jobs in order to get into certain rooms. Like I'm never gonna do anything to my nose, and I'm not gonna bleach my skin. But I can do a teeth whitening and get my teeth fixed. I'm willing to compromise there. But I'm not gonna compromise to the point to where I don't feel like myself anymore. A man, a woman. I'm gonna wear this kinky hair, a man, a woman. I'm gonna rock this wide nose, and I'm gonna have this deeply melanated skin. Poo. But I go ahead and take one for the team, girl, and get something done to this grill. Why you all in my grill? Yes, I'm going without my snatch this. Yes, ma'am. You know how I'm about to act, girl. You gonna have that girl tucked for life, huh? You gonna have that girl snatched to the back between the forest and the trees, huh, girl? Girl, you gonna be tucked for dear life, girl. I know that's right, girl. Girl, you gonna get in, though, girl. They not gonna, girl. They gonna be none the wiser, sis. They gonna live for you too. I agree. I have always loved the glamour of RuPaul, the glamour of drag and RuPaul. RuPaul has always seemed to be such a sweet person. From TV, I never met RuPaul. RuPaul just has a very curated, manicured persona, public persona. So let's see how that pans out. Like, I'm still waiting to see what the wild gonna look like, Jill. Cause Jada and Will had that same persona, and they were popping a little bit before Ru, and Jada and Will had that same persona, and we saw, Will had a nervous breakdown, and Jada, started losing her damn hair. And so it's been a lot at play. Um, even Bill Cosby, like that's why I started it off with before the veil was torn, talking about that. It's very important to note a man, a woman. However, I think glamour is required. It's just always kind of resided in the space, in the space princess fairy tales have for me like magical, but it's not required. I agree, sister. I'm on a break. Insider. So, okay. So you're gonna have to get back on the clock in a minute. I wholeheartedly agree. It's definitely a return of energy. I hated how I seen LGBTQIA treated in the past. I always spoke up, and yes, we are separated. And I noticed not all of us want that divide exactly. To one a whole, we don't need thousands of viewers. We need quality, not quantity. Now go and find your edges, muskrat. Ooh, do we? I do want to fix my teeth too, but until then, I'm still beautiful. Hey, man, they want me. And you are.
and so are you and us all. Amen and woman. I want to blog the African experience. Okay. Agreed. That show on TV can't be trusted, so I won't vouch for characters of peeps no more. I haven't really seen in real time. No boyfriend break. Oh yeah. You did say you were on a boyfriend break. Oh, so that's one of the reasons why you want to go over there to Africa. Child, they trying to get me to come back to South Africa. You know Cape Cod is in South Africa. So girl, if you go to Cape Cod, girl, I'll be over in Durban, honey. But this has been an amazing live. This has been a beautiful conversation. Let me get my candles ready because we have been on here for an hour and 30 minutes. And we only had to boot one person off the live. We only had to boot one person off the live. This has been an amazing conversation. I was gonna take some of this and put it on my TikTok, but I don't know. I feel like so much of the video was good. Um, I feel like so much of the video was so good. Um, yeah, Cape Cod is what, like maybe 2 hours away from Durban. Yeah, it's not that far. But I want to it's definitely not that far. On a plane, I think. And I mean I think even driving Cape Cod is not that far. But yeah, I definitely wanna I'm gonna see if I could take certain parts of this and put this on TikTok because I'm feeling like this will be really, really good for TikTok. So, what did y'all think of the video? Let me know by giving me my 5 purple hearts in the comments. You know, the purple heart represents earth, air, fire, water, and the fifth heart represents spirit, heart, soul. Amen, a woman. So, yeah. Correct. Is that 10 hearts or five? You did 10 hearts? So, this candle, I gotta go and check afterwards and see if, let me check. Let me check something before I close a girl. You know, I got to check something, girl. I got to check something, girl. Girl, let me check something, girl. Because you know I have to see, girl. YouTube. YouTube. Oh, yeah, that's really her. Girl, Flame was the first one came on the live and acknowledged me. Girl, this is not the first time Flame done came on here and acknowledged me. To see Flame respect me because I'm not a girl who I understand her and I respect her. Flame respect me, and that means a lot to me because I be letting motherfucking y'all know who I'm talking about. I be letting her have it. And Flame still come on here and support me because Flame like a truth teller. And that's why y'all ain't gonna never get me to go on that rat race of dragging for Flame because Flame a real one. I respect Flame for being who Flame is and for being authentic and truthful about where she is. It took me a while. I had to see it for myself. And I respect Flame because at least Flame stand 10 toes down whether wrong or right for how they feel. They don't pretend to think a certain way in order to gain favor and in order to gain clout from people. They don't pretend to think this way. They talk about how they feel, whether it's wrong or right. And I respect that. I respect that. And Flame cool with that person. Flame cool with that person. But Flame acknowledge me. Flame acknowledge me. Flame said, you know what? I see it for Kaneen. Thanks, and I love your head jewelry. Flame said, I see it for Kaneen, and y'all could blackball her, y'all could boot her out, but y'all did the same thing to me. Y'all treated me the same way. So Flame come on and acknowledge me, baby. That's a real one right there. That's a real one, baby. Y'all ain't gonna get me to ride that hate train, and I have videos where I have challenged Flame. So we not finna sit up here and act like I ain't never held Flame foot to the fire and said things that were not in alignment. I have held Flame foot to the fire and said things that were in opposition to Flame, and I've expressed my different point of view. But at the same time, I respect Flame because Flame does not delineate for how she think, how she see the world, how they see the world. He, she, we, whichever one of them. I respect that because at least we know what we dealing with. Yeah. Look at you. You don't want me to sit down with no damn T.S. Madison, Faith. But last night, I had a dream that a whole bunch of trans people with very different personalities, we were on this show and we had to share space with each other and we had to collectively heal. Like it was a lot of girls in the house. It was me, it was Flame, it was T.S. Madison, it was Diamond Styles, um, it was what's that trans man name? It's a famous trans man. Real handsome trans man. Um he was there. Uh, I can't think of his name. I have to Google it. I know his face when I see it. But I started waking up like as people were coming into the house. And what you call it was even in the dream. Brianna, her other name is Eon. Um, and she used to do a podcast with this girl, 50 something. She used to do a podcast with this girl that live in Atlanta. I can't think of the girl name for nothing in the world, but I know the girl is a Leo. But yeah, Brianna was in it. The trans man, I can't think of his name, but child, it was like this showgirl, and all of these trans people who was known for like being really controversial and having like this controversial energy. Oh yeah, and Hope Giselle ass was in the damn dream too, and we was in the house, and it was like a lot. It was really deep because a lot of us are talented and artists and creative, and it was really a time for us to heal. Child Shia Diamond was in the house. um what's her name, the one that be doing the Auntie Jackie, she was in the house. um Titties at the top and dick at the bottom, girl. Girl, it was something, girl. Girl, the house was something else, girl. But baby, I was like, it was really, really something to see. I would love to see you and Flame collab. Mm, that would be interesting. A collaboration between me and Flame. Well, you know, Flame is very political and streamlined, and I think I'm just kind of like all over the place. So I don't know what that collaboration would look like. Cause Flame is very much dot 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 dot. Now I ain't gonna lie, I think that I could benefit from Flame as a mentor because I think that Flame would help me to I like Flame's logic. You know, I like how I like Flame's business savvy. Like I think I could benefit from that knowledge. Like as a mentor, I think that Flame could teach me how to be more organized, how to be more efficient, you know, because those are not my strong points. I am a true artist, and as an artist I am many times all over the place. So I think that I'm mature enough now to be able to take critique and to be able to listen, to take guidance, you know, without being offended over everything. And I would take guidance from Flame because I think that for Flame to be an older girl, Flame has kept her body together. Flame has aged well, in my opinion. Flame looks like they have a healthy diet. They look like they, just everything. Just look. I just like how they have aged. I like how they matured. They still get around well. They still have all of their faculties. So like I really like respect them as a human being, and so I think that I could take like advice from them, like mentorship on how to be more business minded, how to navigate mainstream spaces. And what doesn't work for me, I won't use. But I definitely think that there are some things that I could learn from Flame if Flame was willing to be like a mentor to me, and meant to be like, okay, sister, you like to talk about this, this, and this. Maybe talk about this, this, and this less. Maybe be more focused on this. Maybe we could work on presenting this way. Maybe you could get this, this, and this together. Da 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 da. Like I could take a few notes from Flame. Like I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say I couldn't learn something from Flame. Yeah, I would be interested in that. Um, yeah, Enoch said thanks and love the hair jewelry. Oh, you like the video, Enoch? Well, Flame, yeah, da 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 da. There's a long ago. Wait, there's a go along to get along gang everywhere. I don't see you and Flame on that train. Right, right. I would love to see. Yeah, okay, I read that one. Look at the ancestors. I bet it's gonna happen. You're tapped into spirit. That's gonna happen, Kaneen. I believe it. Amen, a woman. Child, I stay out of us and TS. I stay out of you and TS debacle, but I don't have a problem with mamas. Yeah, it's a debacle. Oh, y'all had all kinds of faggot stuff going on, LOL. And still be having it going on. It's still very present. Girls need. I mean, I think it's healthy to have a nemesis. I think it's healthy. I'm not, because it shows clearly where you stand. You know, my issue with T.S. Madison is not her beliefs. It's how she has manipulated her audience to believe that she's this when she's that. Her strategy is what I take issue with. Cause if you're gonna be loud and ratchet and go for people's throat and deep down you see yourself as a man and you see all the girls as men playing in wigs, then be 10 toes down with that. Don't try to, mish up the language and play all sides of the fence when you know really honestly and truly you think like this, because every time you get mad we see who you really are. So that's my problem. It's the illusion. It's the illusion. That's why I respect Flame, because it's not who is it? Yeah, I'm doing something. Yeah, it's not an illusion. It's very consistent with what it's given. There's no confusion. You know what it is, and I can respect her for that. And I've held Flame foot to the fire, and I've said things about I've done videos on Facebook and YouTube and short clips where I was responding to Flame, and Flame has never gotten upset with me. But who got upset with me? Who got mad at me? You see the difference? Flame has came under my videos multiple times and acknowledged me. Has commented in my comment section positively. And I was doing the same thing to Flame that I was doing to T.S. Madison. And with that, I'm closing. Cause it ain't no more to say. It would be like America, the world, we all different. We gotta stop letting that keep us apart. Hey, Aaron. Exactly. That's called maturity and difference of opinion and learning space. Exactly. Greetings from Pacifica, California. It's giving cult or dictatorship. We all free. Exactly. 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 So when people try to say, "Oh, I seen you drag her," and I seen you, Rainbow Cup was on here the other day talking about I seen you drag her unprovoked, and you can't tell people how to respond. But people should be able to talk about you. People should be able to hold you. People should be able to hold you accountable as a public figure, and we should be able to have dialogue about that. I shouldn't have to be singing your praises and always talking positively about you. Because, like I said, I've done it to others, and it shows. You'll know a tree by the fruit that it bears. Anyway, I'm not finna get on the negative. We all different, and we should let them have it, sister. I know it can be draining. Amen, a woman. So let me go ahead and let us roll out. So y'all know I've been on a very strict diet. I've been eating bison though because I haven't been getting enough. Like I have to eat a little meat because I get anemic when I don't eat enough meat. So the weather changing, my body started getting cold. So I have to get a little meat. So I'm trying to eat like lean bison. I'm finna go and get me something to eat because it's 5 o'clock and I'm on a diet, and so I have to eat within the window. Yesterday I did not follow my window. I ate a little bit late and I felt bad about it, which is why I'm kind of bloated today. Um, but yeah, I want to make sure I eat within my window today. I want to honor my diet and do what I need to do. So I'm finna go and I'm finna make me some king oyster mushrooms and broccoli. I'm gonna have me some king oyster mushrooms and broccoli for dinner, and I'm gonna have me some tea. So yeah, I'm finna go and cook that now. But this was a really really good live. You know, I really enjoyed y'all. This was a great video, great energy. When I first started it, I didn't think nobody was gonna be on here. I was a little nervous, but you know, some of my favorite people came on the live. Um, when Fatima came on, and then Faith came on, and then Golden Queen came on, I was like, chill, if don't nobody else come on the live, I'm good. I'm happy other people came, but I was like, chill, it can be us. We good. Anyway, thank you to my moderators for doing an amazing job again. Thank you, Flame Monroe, for coming on at the beginning of the live and blessing the live just with your presence, making this a very sacred and memorable moment. Um, Down but now that I say cool, it keeps spinning and turning. Iangani, Iyanko, Kalukalo, which means I'm a child of God Goddess, and if I am, you know you are. Bound and round, both circle and square, we too speak life, so operations beware. Sending healing to those in despair, El Babosoa, which means we come in peace, no harm to any, Leilem, Leila, Leila, Leilem. As I blow out this candle on the physical plane, it grows with intensity on the spiritual plane, preparing us for times that are now. Typically, there are three flames lit. The three flames represent the past, the present, and the future. The ancestors who are here, the ancestors who are coming, and the ancestors who have come already. The ancestors who have come, the ancestors who are here, and the ancestors who will come, past, present, and future. Again, as I blow out this candle on the physical plane, it will prepare us for times that are now as it grows with a vibrant intensity on the spiritual plane. Amen. A woman. Leilem. Leilem. Love y'all. Sister, look at you. Girl, you gonna be all right. Thank you, Golden Queen, for the purple hearts. See y'all later. Have an amazing day. Enjoy your evening.